But the way I see it is, whether they support you or not, you cannot build a business with family and friends. You might build a hobby.
Correct.
Might build a hobby. But I think you need to get to a point where you take it out of your mind that family and friends are going to support me.
Correct.
Because that will not make a business.
And understand that support comes in many different ways.
Right.
It's not just simply, I have a product, you buy my product, that's support. You're right? I'm going to tell you like this. My friends and family, a lot of them cannot afford me. And that's okay. Unfortunately, retail has limited us as guys to pretty much 3 colors, black, blue, gray. Like when it comes to suits, you're gonna always see black, blue, gray suits, right?
For enough money.
Correct. The big thing that I would say is Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is quote unquote the richest man in the world. And he's trying to get an evaluation of $1 trillion. What can he do with the $1 trillion that he couldn't do with $500 billion? Nothing. If you're chasing money, you're gonna be chasing it forever.
I got it booming. Stats going up, we all going dumb, not stupid. Trying to keep up with me, I told them all that it's foolish. I heard this song and I turn it right down, it's muted. I heard this song and I turn it right down, it's muted. I had to do it myself, damn, now it's all booming.
Hey, what's up, good people? Welcome back to City Entrepreneur Season 1 in Virginia Beach, in partnership with the Virginia Beach Uplift Program. On this show, we dive into real stories of entrepreneurs, funders, and builders shaping underdog cities, uncovering what it truly takes to launch, grow, and scale a business. Whether you're an entrepreneur or just someone who wants to learn about entrepreneurship, or you're an investor, we have founders who can give you different aspects of entrepreneurship. This episode was brought to you by the City of Virginia Beach SWAM Business Office. If you want resources or want to grow your business, go to virginiabeach.gov/SWAM. It is virginiabeach.gov/SWAM. My next guest today is a Navy veteran turned fashion icon in the Virginia Beach area. And he has a large social media following. He has shown his collections at New York Fashion Week, Algeria, Ghana. This man I'm talking about, he's dapper. So when he pull up, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Can we make welcome the owner of Dapper Luq Custom Clothing, Mr. Luq himself. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and welcome back to Virginia Beach.
Thank you. I thank you, man. You are looking dapper, pun intended.
I try. You know, it is the brand.
Yeah.
One of the things that I always try to push or live is, you know, if you live and, you know, embody your brand, it's not an act, it's not a job, it's your life. And that's kind of what I try to do.
This is true. That is true. And whenever I see you, I remember the song that goes by Jidenda that goes, I'm a classic, man. You can be me if you look this clean. And you're looking clean today, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. You're pretty clean yourself.
You know, I was like, let me up my standards a little bit. Dapper Luq gonna be here. Let me be a little bit dapper.
Okay, I like it. You're definitely more modern than I am with the sweater. I like the sweater.
Thank you.
But it has the
I don't know
shredded look. So I would say that's more.
I'm a little more relaxed look.
Okay, but it's a good clean look. I like it, absolutely.
So for those who don't know who Dapper Luq is, just give us a little bit of value, kind of how you got to kind of where you are today.
Absolutely. So I am a custom clothier. Basically what that is I specialize in fabrics, fit, and also styling of custom suits, tuxedos for men and women.
Yes. So take me back a little bit. Who was Dapper Luq before Dapper Luq? Because I know you were a Navy veteran. You were
correct.
Before you got to that point, take us back a little bit to where you are.
Yes. So as you mentioned, I did 22 years Navy. When I was in the Navy, and even prior to the Navy, I always had like a love for fashion. And for me, I read a book by Robert Greene called Mastery. Robert Greene wrote 48 Laws of Power. And one of the things that he said in that book is, you know, if money was not an option, what would you be doing? Do that and then find a way to monetize it. So I knew as I was getting out of the military, right, I was going to be doing something in fashion, just didn't quite know what. So found me an amazing mentor, Claiborne Leonard. He kind of taught me styling, he taught me design, taught me how to kind of build an audience, and he kind of gave me my first opportunities as a designer. So about halfway through my Navy career, Dapper Luq was born, and Dapper Luq was actually a blogger. I went to New York Fashion Week, LA Fashion Week, and I kind of gave my take on what fashion was. So, you know, before everyone had a podcast, you know, you had blogs, right? So Dapper Luq was a blogger. And then from there, I kind of went into the stylist. Actually, before that, I was a model for about 2 or 3 years. Did the runways in New York, LA, Miami, kind of that realm. And then became an apprentice for my New York-based designer, Clavin Leonard. He is the one that kind of gave me a world perspective on fashion, taking me to Ghana, took me to South Africa, took me to New York as well. And then from there, when we launched our very first collection as Dapper Luq, it was in Algeria, and that was all off the back of my mentor. We first went to Bangladesh to kind of put together our collections mutually. Yeah. He was working on the collection, I was working on the collection. And then the very first fashion show that I ever did was Algeria Fashion Week in Oran in March of 2020.
Wow. I'm going to do a little bit of piece by piece, right? You talked about, being a blogger, then going to fashion shows and being able to become a model and become an apprentice. I know most times when people see people's success in their journey, they never hear what it took, right? Because you had to learn the process.
Correct.
Talk to me about the importance of you being able to embed yourself in what it means to be in fashion before you could become a stylist yourself.
Absolutely. So for me, a lot of times I think people want instant gratification for whatever trade or whatever entrepreneurship journey they go on, right? And part of it is actually learning and being present in whatever that environment is. So for me, for fashion, blogging was the first kind of look, right? It was like me just stepping into the fashion world and saying, okay, I like this, but again, what part of it do I truly like? And then the actual model side, that was when I was involved in. I wasn't just kind of a viewer of it. I was actually in it as a model, walking runways, interacting with stylists, interacting with designers, interacting with photographers, and kind of really, really, truly seeing, okay, I really like this. The stylist portion kind of gave me the ability to put my vision on a runway. I was fortunate in that my mentor trusted me enough to literally give me his clothing, give me a group of models and say, okay, make it look the way you would interpret it on the runway. So again, that's my first opportunity to actually take what I see in fashion, put it on models and make it actually go on a runway. And then from there, that's when I kind of like, okay, I kind of always knew I was going to be in the suit world. That was what the part of fashion I truly, truly love. I love dresses as well. I've never designed a dress, but I've styled and I put dresses on the runway. But I just felt like the suit world was my lane that I truly wanted to conquer. I may do dresses in the future, I don't know. But right now, I'm really comfortable as a suit and tuxedo designer. So that's kind of where I am right now. And the last part I'll say is, again, part of understanding who you are is, again, trying things and being in those environments. Had an opportunity to, try it, see it, touch it, feel it, I may not have, had the longevity that I've had because, I could have tried some things. It didn't quite work out and I just fizzled out. But I went through different levels and really saw what I truly liked. I think it kind of gave me a little bit of longevity, in my career so far.
Wow. So the next piece of the story, obviously you have gone through, learning what it really takes to design, understand, critique, and becoming your own business, right?
And I'm still learning, by the way, but I'm still learning.
I'm still learning. But you're still Dapper Luq, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to me about Algeria. What was that like, that experience? What is it like over there, being able to be on the fashion show? Talk to me about getting there and what was that like?
So again, just the mere fact of me being there was literally, from my mentor. He pretty much told me, hey, your first show is going to be Algeria. My first show in my mind was going to be Virginia Beach, maybe at a local high school. But, he had a much wider vision that I could even imagine, which I think is why I think mentors are really, really important because, again, they see beyond what you can even fathom, right? Now, the process, we went to Bangladesh in January and we kind of knew that was coming up. So I wanted to put together an amazing collection. So I did a 22-piece collection, 11 male, 11 female suits. And then from there, I wanted to kind of create a collection that was going to be suit, but like colors and styles you don't normally see. So it was a very colorful collection. It was a very, aesthetically ranged collection, but it still kind of spoke to who I was in my development as a designer. Right. Getting there, it's kind of funny because literally, if you think of the time frame, this is March of 2020. This is as the pandemic is kind of sprinkling around. Like, we know it's present and it's going through, Europe, but it hasn't quite hit America yet.
Yes.
So getting there was kind of a process. But when I got there, they were very welcoming. Like, this was the first place that they come in. As soon as we arrived at the airport, there was somebody there with our name on a piece of paper. I'd never had that happen before.
Yes.
They got us at the airport, took us to our hotel. Everything was at that one centralized hotel in Oran, which was the city that we were in Algeria. And for the most part, we got to, meet our models. We had to do a press tour. And that was my opportunity to kind of speak to my collection, style. And I styled both my collection and Claiborne's collection at that, event. So I was styling two collections at one time, mine and his. And then just kind of seeing your collection on the runway for the very first time. Like, it was amazing. When they say, dream big, I didn't even dream that big, but I was like, okay, for me to kind of do that, it definitely kind of set me up, made me feel as though, okay, I can do this, because I've done it on the very biggest of stages.
Yeah. So I'm going to say this as a novice of fashion, right? From a perspective of someone who, has been to fashion shows, my experience is this is entertaining. I love to see the fashion.
Correct.
I love to see everyone walking. From a designer perspective, what is a fashion show for and why? What is it? Talk to me on your perspective of what that is for. What does that do?
And I'm glad you said that, because that actually, a good friend of mine, Eric Castano, he also has a suit brand, and that's kind of what we see. Okay, so as a designer, if you're truly doing a collection correctly, your collection is a preview of what's to come from your collection, right? So a lot of times fashion weeks are spring, summer, fall, winter, okay? So what you're trying to do is put out a collection that folks can then buy or show interest in, when they go shopping, right? But as you just mentioned, a lot of fashion shows are simply for entertainment.
Yes.
When I go to a fashion show, it's entertaining, but it's inspiring for me. And I think that's why I've kind of shifted to doing wedding expos and wedding fashion shows, because again, ultimately what you're putting is a product on the runway you want someone to purchase. So a lot of my clients are grooms, women that want to have suits and tuxedos, and also children for proms. So I kind of find that the fashion show for me, your typical fashion show, is entertainment. And that's nothing for me as a designer.
Yes.
If you want to be entertained, you can go to my social media. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But I want to put my product in front of a client base. And that's why I primarily do wedding expos and wedding shows currently.
See, this is why I had to ask so you can explain that for me, because I've seen so many like fashion shows on social media, just theatrics. You just
Correct.
For theatrics, just the most absurd things you could ever think of.
Yes. And again, like you just said, a lot of people are going it merely for the entertainment factor, right? So then I would tell a designer or anyone that's in a clothing world, right? You have to truly understand your brand and what you want out of a fashion show. The one beauty of social media, right? Previously, if you wanted to get your product in front of a large audience, you needed fashion shows. That was your way to get your product in front of other designers, possible buyers, magazines, photographers that all would push your brand out. With the invention of social media, you are your own marketing, you are your own promotion. So then you truly have to ask yourself, what am I doing the fashion show for? If you want to entertain, in my opinion, you should be paid as a designer because you're entertaining people, right? You no longer need it simply for exposure because you have your own exposure engine, social media.
Yeah. And I'm gonna come back to fashion.
Okay.
But I wanna ask this, for someone who has, gone to South Africa, Ghana, Algeria, New York, why Virginia Beach? Why settle here and do business?
So Virginia Beach was comfortable because of where I was already. As I made my transition out of the military, this was where I already was centrally located. Now, I'm originally from Baltimore. I could have always gone back to Maryland. And for a period of time, I had a location in Maryland. And I want to go back to either Maryland or DC at some point. But as far as family, Housing, location, I really like this area because it's kind of quiet, it's down to earth, but I can get to a DC, I can get to a New York, I can get to a Philadelphia, but my home life is more suburban, if you will. But also there is a good client base here, right? There's a decent client base when it comes to custom suiting, when it comes to weddings. I have a nice clientele here as well. And I'm able to function in the price range that I like and is comfortable for my business.
So you were a part of the Uplift program.
I was, yes.
What made you apply for that, and how did you even get to apply for that program?
So I saw it because of the Hive. I was on their mailing list, and when the information about it came out, I wanted to apply. I'm always, again, of the mindset of I'm always learning. There's always things that I can learn in business, in networking, in growth, period. So I wanted to make sure to take advantage of that. I did a program through the city of Norfolk, and I wanted to do one in the city of Virginia Beach because that's where I am and that's where I kind of wanted to be a part of, and that's my home base. So when the Uplift program came, I applied. I didn't know if I was going to be accepted. I was accepted. I assume I had a really good business model, business plan, and I learned a lot, met a lot of really good folks. And I think also Uplift is good because as a business owner, a lot of times I think you feel like you're on an island, right? Who can I talk to? Who is going through this same thoughts that I'm having that's not necessarily family or friends? Because I think what happens with family and friends, you can have one of two things. You can have a bunch of yes people, or you can have a bunch of naysayers. And neither one of those are good if you're in business.
It's true.
You need someone that's going to give you,
the reality,
good ideas, bad ideas, that's going to, collaborate and just kind of understand why you're taking the risk. No disrespect to my wife, but the minute I talk business to her, she's always bringing up the negative and why it won't work. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to talk about business anymore because, again, as a business person, you don't want to hear why something won't work. You don't want to hear why it's a bad idea, even if it is a bad idea, right? As a business owner, you're always thinking, okay, how can I make it work? Right. Or what resources can I do? Or can I even just pivot, right? Because a lot of times it's not a bad idea. It may be bad execution. It may be bad as far as timing, but that doesn't mean it's a bad idea as far as being in business. So again, I think that a program like Uplift just kind of gave me a good place to go.
That's right.
To not feel as though I'm an outsider or, business is just not for me. You're not going to make it in business.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right. Because most times family and friends are good when you make something and it works out.
Correct.
But when it doesn't work out, you're still struggling with it. They're not the best people to be around because they don't see what you see.
Correct.
Because you're the one that has a vision.
Especially if they're, an employee mindset, right? They just don't see the need for risk. People are very risk averse. They love to go in, do a 9 to 5, not necessarily 9 to 5 hour, but that 8-hour shift,
That's right.
12-hour shift, guaranteed paycheck, go home and not have to worry about it, right? And entrepreneurship is none of that, right? You ain't working no 9 to 5, you work, as an example, this morning I was on, texting my manufacturer at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Because I needed to make sure that something got done.
That's right.
This afternoon, I was texting DHL because I needed to get, with this new tariffs, I had to send over a special document to get my thing. At the same time, I'm timing because I'm getting a package full of, a collection that I'm having that I'm going to hopefully showcase on a fast show I have coming up, as well as a client that has an event the beginning of February. So I'm working multiple things, right? And I don't have, an assistant or anybody. It's all got to come through me.
That's right.
Right. And right, wrong, and indifferent, whether my manufacturer messed up, whether DHL messed up, the client's looking at me.
It's all on you.
They don't care about DHL. Like, well, why did you use DHL? Why didn't you use UPS? You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care about,
That's right.
They just care about, did you get my product when I needed it?
That's right. That's right.
So again, I think that's why, entrepreneurship, you have to truly understand a lot of times the backstop is you. And if you're not ready for that type of responsibility, may not be for you. And that's okay. Like, and not everyone has to be an entrepreneur. I think, again, the one of the woes of social media, it kind of makes everybody feel as though you got to be an entrepreneur or you wasting your time. That's not necessarily true, right? But if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you just have to understand that there's a lot that goes into it mentally more than anything, you
Right.
know.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, you are the beginning and end
Correct.
of your business.
Correct.
Until
And-
you have a system that prolongs that.
Correct. And, you know, you have to be your own cheerleader and your own support system sometimes because, you know, as an entrepreneur, again, you know, in our society, and I would say in society as a whole, you know, we are very much reward-based system, right? You do a job, you get a reward for it, right?
right.
And entrepreneurship is not always awards, right? Because it's like, who's gonna give you the reward, right? So you have to kind of be able to pat your own self on the back, set your own goals, and kind of set your own, you know, dreams of what you're gonna strive for. Because again, who else is gonna do it for you?
That's right. And in that same line, I know you talked about the impact of social media and what a great tool it is.
If you use it properly.
If you use it properly. So my question is, how do you use properly, and especially for small business owners or anyone out there who you think social media is a great tool, how do you do it properly to be able to elevate your business or elevate yourself?
Correct. So the biggest thing is, and this is one thing that's important also in business, you have to know who your audience is, right? And speak directly to your audience as if, you know, they're right in front of you, right? And then be consistent, right? It's hard to build an audience if you're only posting once a month or once every couple months, right? You should be posting. I don't think you should post every day. Some folks say post every day. I think it's a lot to post every day. But if you're able to, like, you know, record a bunch of episodes and post them, you know, every couple of days, I think that's pretty good.
Right.
But again, kind of define who your audience is, right? And then give them relevance of why you, right? And whatever that is, right? So me per se, like I was mentioning, I have to always position myself as a subject matter expert in the field of suits as well as clothing, right? And style, because again, if you're gonna come to me, you're gonna pay my prices, why? What separates me from any other retailer that sells suits,
That's right.
right? And if, like you said, every time you see me in suits, I wear them well, I fit them well, in your mind, okay, that guy knows what he's talking about, because every time I see him, he's presenting himself well. And even on your social media, right? In my social media, and I talked to Micah yesterday prior to our interview, and he was saying he might come to my showroom. And my first question was, are we doing any type of filming? Because again, if you're gonna film me, I wanna be in my correct look, right? Because normally if I'm just running to my store, I may be in sweats, I may be in a t-shirt, and that's fine because I'm just, you know, transitioning. But if I'm going to be presenting myself to the world, I have to be Dapper Luq. And again, that's not a hard transition, it's a matter of my clothing, but I just wanna make sure that whenever I'm presenting myself, whether it be on film, whether it be social media, whether it be to a networking event, I show up as Dapper Luq. And I think whatever brand, you should do that as well.
And I want to give a little bit more perspective to that, because brand is important, right? So when people think of, you know, McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or the big brands, you always have an expectation at the back of your head of what you're getting there. And a human being, you are your own brand.
Correct.
Regardless of people want to say it or not, they have an expectation of what they want to see or expect from you without telling you that. And if you don't show up as that, you lose some marks off the rip.
Correct.
So showing up as who you are supposed to be is very important.
Correct. And the one beauty about social media, right? Again, previously you had to show up to a fashion show, right? And you had to hope you get a really good pictures. You had to hope you had a really good showing, right? But meanwhile, they could have people singing, doing acrobatics. They could have dogs running around. Like, you don't know what you're showing up to because it's not your show. But social media is yours. For the most part, you know, the platforms are owned by these conglomerates, but they allow you to control your feed, control what you post. So, you know, you have the ability to truly show who you are as a person, as a brand, and as a business.
And I'm gonna touch up on something you said. So when it comes to posting, right? I know it depends. The way I see it is, if your brand is something where you have to put a lot of work into putting your content out and it's unique, I would say every single day is not
necessary.
Worth it. It's not necessary, right? But if it's something where you can on the rip, just get something out there and you can do it easily and fast, as much as you can, get the content out there, because I think we're in an age where people have less attention span. And the more you can get in front of them, the more you can get your face in front of them.
And I would say that depends on what type of brand you are.
Exactly.
Right? So if you're like a food brand and you're cooking every day, there's no reason why you can't be filming a little bit of every single day and putting it out. Even if you're going live, right? Literally, you're just working and you're streaming live what you're doing. Me personally, what I do is not an everyday thing, right? And it's not a quick thing. But you're right, absolutely right. There's no reason why I can't get something from each event that I do or each interaction I have with a client or an event and put that out. And like you say, with depending on what it is that you're selling, what your business is, you can be getting content every day and then kind of putting it out as you need it.
That's right.
And then on top of that, one thing that, I'm going to begin doing kind of as I go into this year, you can begin critiquing things that you've done or things that you've seen that are in your industry that you can, again, speak on. So it doesn't have to necessarily be you creating the content.
That's right.
A lot of things you're seeing now, people are critiquing. You'll have the person that'll be in the corner of the video and they'll have pictures behind them or videos behind them that are in that realm of their business, their expertise, and they're just speaking on it.
Yes.
So
and that doesn't take you long.
Correct.
Right? The way that I see content is isolate it out. Let's say you take 2 hours a day of your whole week, and you just have a pile of content you want to be able to react to or review.
You can chop it up or.
And then for the rest of the week, you're good to go. You have to come back to it, right? So like, 'cause I know in your fashion world, there's, like I said, those theatrics that I see out there that are mimicking what fashion shows should be, or something. I feel like there's an element of truth to saying, hey, it's not what it should be, but I see that, right? So there's a bunch of content. I think no matter where you are, repurposing content is always important.
Absolutely.
Because it's easy to do, right? So I want to shift gears a little bit, right? So I know with your brand and with what you do, I want to get a little bit of a tip for myself.
Okay.
Because each time I see you have a dope color combination, and I can only maybe do 2 colors. I can only do a black and a white shirt.
I think you can do more. I think you can do more.
I know I could. I'm saying right now, I can only do a pant and a shirt. How do you... how does the color, does it come to you in a dream, or how does color come to you?
No, it doesn't come to me in a dream, but I will say this, right? This is, again, why the world of custom is so important, right? The colors that I have on, you're probably not going to find them in the regular retail space, right? Unfortunately, retail has limited us as guys to pretty much 3 colors: black, blue, gray. Like when it comes to suiting, you're gonna always see black, blue, gray suits, right? But in order to wear something like this is almost has to be custom. And again, for me, I understand color palettes, I understand seasons, and I understand fabrics. So that's where that Claudier experience comes in, right? And I like color because, again, I want to show my people this is what you can do, right? And then the one thing about guys is kind of funny, right? We as guys are kind of afraid of color. And I want you to show you, hey, you can still have color, still maintain that masculinity, still maintain that, fashion forward, and have colors you don't normally see. Me personally, whenever I go into a room full of suits, no matter who else is in there, I want to bring attention to myself. And that's through color, fit, and style. That's how you do it. And I understand that, and that's how I go into each room, especially if it has suits. I love the challenge of going into a room with suits and standing out amongst those that have suits on.
That's right. And I would say, in most cases, that can be either good or you do it wrong. And if you do it wrong,
I think that's subjective.
Okay, so tell me this. Okay, if it's subjective.
It's subjective.
Tell me this. Is it 4th and 1? 4th and 1. Who hosts 4th and 1? Remind me who that...
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
Okay.
How subjective is that outfit?
Okay, so let me tell you this. This is just my perspective. Big shouts to Cam, right?
Yes.
I feel as though whenever you're wearing anything clothed, it should look effortless. That is my goal whenever I put a suit on. I don't feel like his outfits are effortless. It looks like he's trying really, really hard. And to him, he's comfortable, so it doesn't really matter what we think about it, right? Ultimately, he's wearing it, and it speaks to him because he's consistent with it.
He's very
consistently with it. So whatever we may think about it, when he goes into a room, he's coming that way, and it speaks to his brain, right? So in that regard, it works, right? And ultimately, like you were just saying, whether you do it right or whether you do it wrong, if your goal is to be noticed, to be spoken about. In our minds, it might be wrong, right? But if your goal is to get eyes on you and people speaking about you, you've done that.
Regardless.
You know, even if you've messed up, you've done that because people are talking about it, right? Now it comes with the follow through, as I mentioned about fashion shows, right? Now that you have everybody's attention, what are you doing with that attention? Is it just that guy look really, really crazy? Keep it moving. The guy look really, really crazy, but he's also a designer. Let's follow him. So again, it kind of depends on what your end goal is of why you're walking in there looking however you look.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
so
yes.
for me, I look the way I look because I want you to say, hey, I like that. Oh, I sell suits. I can make you look like this.
I think we need to find out what Cam Newton's goal is, but that's another topic for another day.
I think he wants viewers. That's what he wants. He's getting viewers.
He gets it. He
He's
definitely
getting
gets
viewers.
eyeballs. So let me ask you this, because you do custom suits for weddings, and that's a very, I would say, memorable, precious moment for people.
Absolutely. A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. So when you get in those scenarios, or when you get to design for them, what are you helping them with? How do you even get them to that person, like making sure they get what they actually want to say? Okay, that looks dope. That's me. How do you get them to that? What's the process like to get them to?
So the biggest thing for me, a lot of times when you come to me, you want to get a look or a style you can't find anywhere else. You may have seen something on television, you may have seen something on social media, and you were inspired by it, but you don't quite know how to get it or put it together. That's why you come to me. I'm going to give you that unique or one-of-a-kind look. And the one thing I tell a lot of my clients, right, I don't like to just necessarily just copy a look that I see. We can be inspired by it, but how do we make it yours, right? And that's what I do. And the one thing I tell every single one of my clients, right, I can put it together. You have to wear it and you have to be comfortable in it. So that's important. So, you know, I will kind of show them what we can do, what is available, and then I kind of get their take on it because ultimately, again, they have to wear it and they have to be comfortable in it.
Yes.
I don't care what Cam Newton has on. He's comfortable in it. It can be tight. It can be
I don't know, but
ill-fitting, but in his mind, he's comfortable, right? And I'm not telling my clients to go out there looking like Cam Newton. But, you know, ultimately what I want to do is I want to give them something that they can't find because to me, and I talk again this to my clients, this is your day as well. You know, my grooms, I tell them this is your day also. Be comfortable, you know, look amazing and enjoy your day. And that's what I try to make sure each one of my clients, both prom and wedding, I provide for them.
So as we're getting towards the end of the show, I want to ask you this: success and failure. And most times I don't even see it as failure. I see it as a learning experience. How do you view those?
Okay, so ultimately, success is what you determine it to be, right? No one can tell you what success is for you. They can give you ideas, but ultimately, whether or not you're successful is based on you and what you determine success to be. And in my opinion, it should not be financially based, meaning, you know, if I make $1 million, you know, that doesn't make me more successful than if I made $100,000, if I'm comfortable in what I do, right? Failure is only final if you quit, right? To me, what we consider failure is lessons learned, right? You and I were talking previously and I was telling you about, you know, a client who the suit didn't quite fit well and I had to fix it, right? And I learned how to fix it in the future. So I could have said, you know, I messed this suit up, that client is gone, forget about it.
Right.
But I was able to, you know, speak with that client, see what they truly want, fix it. And so if that problem happens in the future, I know exactly how to fix it and I'm comfortable doing it. So for me, failure is only failure if it's final and you quit.
That's right.
To me, it's lessons learned. And success to me is an ongoing thing that changes as I grow and learn within my industry.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, yeah. Because I think money is a big reason why most people think I'm either not making it enough or I'm making too much. And that can always change. There's never enough money.
Correct. The big thing that I would say is Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is quote unquote the richest man in the world. Yeah. And he's trying to get an evaluation of $1 trillion. What can he do with the $1 trillion that he couldn't do with $500 billion? Nothing. If you're chasing money, you're going to be chasing it forever, right? And you're never going to have enough of it.
No.
Right? And in business, money comes and goes. It's a necessary tool for business.
That's right.
But to me, it is not how I determine the success and failure of my business, because, you know, I've made a lot of money in business. I've spent a lot of money in business, but I don't feel more or less successful because of that.
Right.
You know, again, I look at money only as a tool, not a gauge of how successful I'm in my business. Or I don't think because someone made $1 million last year, they're better at doing suits than I am. I don't think it.
Yeah. I'm a choke for a bit. Allergies are killing me. Okay. And I mean that's the reality of it, right? In that same line, for someone who's watching out there, who's seeing you, Dapper Luq, you look dapper, you know, you've been doing this for a minute, you've been in Algeria, South Africa, Ghana, you've been in New York. I know you've had some tough days.
Absolutely.
What has those days been like, and how were you able to get out of those days?
So, it's a quote that I've heard from a football player, right? Tough times don't last, tough people do, right? So in times, and then I guess it depends on what do you consider tough times, right? Is tough times me not being able to pay my bills? Is tough times my store closing? Is tough times I don't have clients that week? Like, I have yet to hit something in my entrepreneurial career that made me say, this is it. I'm done. I can't get beyond this, right? Again, there's been times that I couldn't pay all of my bills that month. I paid them the next month, right? There's been times I've had a few clients, right, in a month. There's been times I've had more clients I don't know what to do with in a month, right? So the one thing, again, is just, you just have to see beyond it. Just know what's happening now isn't going to be forever, right? And I think that's also where I say your success and failure cannot be tied to money, because again, as an entrepreneur, you may have 3 months that you're just scraping. You're just barely paying all your bills, right? And if you gauge that as how successful you are, you're going to think, I'm not successful in this.
Yeah.
But that's just a tool to continue in business. It's not what makes you successful in it. So as long as I am relevant, I have clients coming in and I enjoy it, I'm going to stick around.
See, in that same mindset, right? It's what does a hard time look like for you, right?
Correct. I don't know. I don't know what a hard time looks like for me.
Because like a whole year might be a hard time, the whole year might be a good time. What does that even really mean?
Correct.
Right? I want to ask this, right? So I know there might be an entrepreneur out there, or an entrepreneur to be, who is saying, I want to start this business, but I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get a customer. Like, how am I even going to get my first customer? Now, my advice of how I've started is just doing the work and then having referrals. For you, what is the best way to sell? What is the best way to get customers?
You know what's funny? My very first realm of clients was from the military, right? People who I knew in the military who fortunately trusted me enough to come and make a purchase from me. And in the beginning, again, I messed up on some of those suits. I messed up on some of those fittings, but I made it right, right? So, you know, I think a support system is important. It is necessary in the beginning, right? But I think it's also important to understand that who starts with you is not always going to be there. So, you know, going back to family, friends, and that initial support staff, they may buy one item from you, or they may get a meal from you, or they may purchase, you know, one of your products. Don't expect them to always purchase. At some point, you got to get in front of strangers.
That's right.
You have to get in front of people who you don't know and sell them. They're going to become longtime clients before your friends and family will, and that's okay, right? And again, the biggest thing that you need to be able to do in business is pivot, right? Pivoting is very important. If it does not work, if it does not, you know, make a dollar, pivot. What will work? What will make a dollar?
Right.
During my very first initial realm, I came into this as a designer. Like, I was going to design, and I was going to be on runways all over the world, and I was going to maybe sell a suit here or two. I did not know I was going to wind up in the world of custom.
Right.
Because of the pandemic, I had to pivot. I'm not doing fashion shows anymore. I'm doing one-on-one consultations. I'm doing weddings. I'm doing proms. I thought I was going to be designing for Wall Street guys. Weddings came about, and that's my number one money maker. You know what I'm saying? So I pivoted to fashion, to wedding expos, bridal, speaking at events, being on wedding websites, because that's where my clientele is. But I didn't know that in the beginning. But had I been, you know, quote unquote hard-headed and be like, you know, and I will say this, if ultimately I did only want to be a designer, I could have stayed that path, right? Part of being an entrepreneur is having a unrealistic optimism on whatever it is that you want to do, right? Even if it doesn't work out, doesn't mean it won't eventually work out, right? And again, pivoting is a way that, hey, I really, really want to do this, but I'll do this to keep my lights on, right? You know, we're looking at these pictures in the background, right? This gentleman, you know, I'm pretty sure he loves painting, right? But I don't think that's his primary business. His primary business is spices, right? So spices pay the bills. He can do his artwork and sell those as, you know, it comes available.
By the way, shout out to Derek.
Yes, Derek Green, amazing photos.
If you want to get amazing paintings like this, Cooking with Greens, go check them out. They got you. But back to the conversation. Something you said I really want to touch up on, right? Most people will say, I don't know if my family and friends will support me, right? Or they should support me. But the way I see it is, whether they support you or not, you cannot build a business with family and friends. You might build a hobby. Might build a hobby. But I think you need to get to a point where you take it out of your mind that family and friends are going to support me. Because that will not make a business.
And understand that support comes in many different ways. It's not just simply, I have a product, you buy my product, that's support. Right? I'm going to tell you like this. My friends and family, a lot of them cannot afford me. And that's okay.
That's okay.
Right? But you can share my stuff. You can recommend me. You can invite me to an event. Right? Those are ways to support that doesn't require a transaction.
That's right.
Every form of support is not transactional. Sometimes it's just simply, you know, the one thing I tell people, right? You may not need a suit from me. You may not, you know, have the need or desire for suits. But if you're ever in a conversation and suits come up, tuxedos come up, I want to be the first thing that comes to your mind. Or I want to be the person that you feel comfortable recommending because you've seen what my body of work is.
This is facts.
And that's how support can come from friends and family that are not going to buy or do a direct transaction with you.
Dapper Luq, thank you. This has been an amazing show. But I have one riddle for you.
Okay.
And I want you to help me with your best professional advice.
Okay.
So a friend of mine came to me about a month or two ago and said, hey, Zeke, can I rent your suit? I have a wedding I have to go to. Right? Give him my suit. He went and shaped the suit to his size. You know when you talk about making your own, he made my suit his own. What should I do in that situation?
He's going to buy the suit from you.
Okay, so he has to pay for the suit.
Correct.
Because at this point, it is his own.
But let me ask you a question, right? You just said that he had it tailored to fit him?
Yes.
So yes, he paid for that tailoring. That suit is now his, unless he's going to pay for it to get untailored.
Because he's smaller than me. No, I can't. I'm 6 feet tall. I can't fit smaller now.
What made him? I can't
go down more.
You cannot go down. No, absolutely not.
How do we do this?
Again, either he's going to buy that suit or he's going to buy you another suit, but that suit is now his. Especially if they did any type of cutting or, you know, alterations that, you know, are very hard to reverse. Wow, that's pretty bold for a friend. That sounds like a brother more than a friend. He made it his
own. He really did, for real. But Dapper Luq, before you go, for those who are watching from home, someone who's out there who's on the lows, like, I don't know if this is going to work out. I don't know if I'm going to do this, if it's a thing. What you want to say to them?
Stop doubting yourself. Yes, it will work. Yes, you can do it. And yes, it is your time.
Where can they get you at if they want to pull up on your spot or see what you got going on?
I'm in Virginia Beach, Dapper Luq on all of my social medias, DAPPERLUQ, website, social media. Showroom is appointments only, so you have to have an appointment to come see me in the showroom. And at most of your wedding expos here in the Hampton Roads and hopefully in DC really, really soon.
Sweet. Thank you, Dapper Luq.
Thank you for having me.
You're always dapper.
Amazing time. Appreciate it. And good luck to you as well on your journey.
Yes, thank you. And for those who watch from home, thank you for tuning in. It's been another City Entrepreneur episode here in Virginia Beach, powered and partnership with the Virginia Beach Uplift Program. If you want to be able to get resources or funding, please go to the City of Virginia Beach SWAM Business Office. They got you. The link is right here. Go check them out. And as I always said on this show, it's sunny in Virginia Beach, and your boy Zeke is out here. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye for now. Bye.
I heard this song and I turn it right down, it's muted. I had to do it myself, damn, now it's all booming. I got it booming. Stats going up, we all going dumb, not stupid. Trying to keep up with me, I told them all that it's foolish.